News has only recently surfaced that Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez had a private meeting with Turki Al-Sheikh. Interestingly, the decision to share their meeting on social media on separate days was reportedly made to avoid drawing attention to an altercation that took place in the presence of the Saudi boxing mogul. Crawford had been eagerly awaiting confirmation to see if Al-Sheikh, the head of Saudi boxing, could persuade Alvarez with an enticing deal to finalize the showdown. It was only logical for all three to come together for such high-stakes discussions. The purpose of the meeting was to block out media distractions and have an honest conversation about how to bring the fight to reality. However, negotiations hit a rough patch when Canelo Alvarez's demands were seen as overly ambitious, leading to frustration for Terence Crawford. The tension escalated briefly, resulting in a heated exchange between the two champions.
Would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and Shakur know each other, and then we wanna see what happened.
And when do you?
Just as things were about to spiral out of control, Turki Al-Sheikh stepped in to calm the situation. His intervention led Canelo Alvarez to lower his demands, making an agreement possible. This occurred shortly before both fighters attended the Ring Magazine Awards in London over the weekend. During the event, they continued discussions with the influential Al-Sheikh regarding their potential clash. According to a report by renowned ESPN knockout journalist Julius Giulianis, it seems the two have already come to an agreement.
Named you and Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights that he wants to see this year. Is that a fight that you're considering now?
We'll see. We'll see everything.
Julius Giulianis reports that the two fighters are now set to face each other in Las Vegas this September, following swift progress in their negotiations over the weekend. Turki Al-Sheikh himself hinted at this development, telling Ring Magazine, "The ring is the Bible of boxing, and we are close to seeing the white smoke on the horizon. 2025 will be a crazy year for boxing, and I mean it." Al-Sheikh had previously paused discussions due to difficulties in reaching an agreement with Alvarez. However, the situation seems to have improved, as both fighters were later seen posing alongside Al-Sheikh, a clear sign that talks had moved in a positive direction.
Possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it, sit down really well, and figure out something.
I know you thought he was kind of a lose-lose.
A potential clash between these two elite fighters is shaping up to be one of the most exciting matchups in boxing today. The highly anticipated bout between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford continues to dominate headlines, sparking global excitement among fans. While the fight hasn't been officially confirmed, the idea of these two pound-for-pound greats going head-to-head has captivated the boxing world. Canelo last stepped into the ring in September, successfully defending his unified super middleweight titles against Edgar Berlanga. On the other hand, Crawford recently moved up to 154 pounds, where he defeated Israel Madriamo to capture the WBA Super Welterweight Championship.
There's loads of things going around at the moment, including a big clash with Canelo Alvarez. Can you tell us what's going on in that situation, and can that happen next?
We shall see.
Speculation about this fight began shortly after Terence "Bud" Crawford claimed the WBA light middleweight title last August by dethroning Israel Madriamo. This victory added the 154 pounds division to the 3 other weight classes where Crawford has previously won world titles. Around the same time, Canelo Alvarez secured yet another successful defense of his WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight titles. His dominant performance further cemented his reign over the division, which he has controlled since 2021. These parallel achievements have only fueled anticipation for a showdown between these two boxing superstars.
To come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight, you know.
As both fighters prepare for what could be the defining fight of their careers, 39-year-old two-division undisputed champion Terence Crawford has already made his intentions clear. Taking to social media, Crawford issued a bold warning to Canelo Alvarez, promising to deliver a performance that will leave the world in awe. "I'm gonna shock the world. Watch, the best is yet to come. I've had this in my back pocket the whole time," Crawford declared, signaling his confidence ahead of the highly anticipated clash with the Mexican superstar.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought. recently, and it'd be a well fought.
Despite his confidence, Terence Crawford faces a monumental challenge as he prepares to move up 2 weight classes to take on 34-year-old Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has dominated the super middleweight division, securing impressive victories over top-tier opponents such as Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant, and Jermall Charlo. While the weight difference presents a significant hurdle for Crawford, the potential for this super fight continues to be a major talking point, capturing the attention of fans and analysts alike.
For both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody that I step in the ring with.
Amir Khan, the only boxer to have faced both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, shared his unique insight into the potential showdown during an interview with Box Nation. Khan, who fought Canelo at a catch weight of 155 pounds, acknowledged the significant weight advantage that Canelo brings to the table. Canelo is a beast, man. I fought both of those guys, and I feel like size always matters. That's why weight divisions exist, Khan explained. Terence is special, no doubt, but then you have to consider getting hit by a guy like Canelo. This perspective comes after Canelo's dominant victory against Edgar Berlanga in the second round during their title fight at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on September 14, 2024, further showcasing his power and reputation as a world champion.
I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that.
Khan, who suffered a 6th-round stoppage loss to Canelo, highlighted the physical challenge of facing the Mexican superstar. What a fight that would be. I'll root for my boy Terence and want him to win, but it's going to be tough. Does he need that fight? No, I don't think he does. He's already achieved so much in his career and beaten everyone. He's untouchable, one of the best pound for pound, Khan said. He went on to acknowledge the financial side of the fight, explaining, "If it's a big payday, I get why it would be made. Why take a risky fight for less money when you can take a seriously hard fight for serious money?" Despite the risks, Khan praised Crawford's skill, recognizing his ability to compete at the highest level. However, he also expressed concerns about the dangers of such a fight, stressing, "We never want to see fighters get hurt."
Canelo versus Jermall Charlo playing out.
I think Canelo just outboxes. Well, no, doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And
As speculation around the potential fight heats up, Canelo Alvarez responded to the rumors with a brief yet intriguing message. "I'm open to talk." His straightforward response has left fans guessing, but it has only increased the excitement, suggesting that the mega fight could be closer to reality. Shakur Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, believes Terence Crawford will emerge victorious against Canelo Alvarez and even thinks Crawford can make it look easy. Stevenson, who has been confident in Crawford's ability for years, reiterated, "I've been saying for a long time that Crawford will defeat Canelo."
Rumors of Canelo and obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford. A lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence Crawford...
Terence Crawford, the WBA champion in the 154 pounds light middleweight division, has committed to gaining 14 pounds for the highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez. This fight is expected to be the highest-paying day of his career. Shakur Stevenson, when asked if he believes Crawford will win, was confident in his response. "I've been saying this for years now. I'm probably the first one to say this, even before Terence himself. I've always thought Crawford's style is the one to beat Canelo," Stevenson told TalkSport Boxing. Stevenson suggests Crawford will stand toe-to-toe with Canelo in September, but this seems unlikely given Crawford's typical strategy when facing heavy hitters. Crawford usually prefers to use his movement and technical skills rather than engaging in a slugfest with powerful punchers like Canelo.
He's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say #1 in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. Is he the man to beat Canelo?
Crawford typically relies on his movement, using his jab and quickly leaping in to land shots before repositioning himself. He doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive display against Errol Spence was more of an exception, mainly because Spence wasn't at his best following his car accident. Chris Mannix, discussing Crawford's decision on his YouTube channel, advised caution when moving up to a weight class above 160 pounds. It would be a little over a year, 13 months. You've got to be very careful if you're going to take a fight above 160 pounds, he said. Given the risks, it seems unlikely Crawford will take a tune-up fight against a super middleweight before facing Canelo Alvarez in September. Crawford is likely to focus on the main event, knowing the stakes are high.
Canelo.
Yes. Honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally...
If Crawford does decide to compete in the super middleweight division, it would likely be at a catchweight, possibly around 163 or 164 pounds, against a middleweight moving up. Potential opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Chiron Davis, fighters who are ranked lower in the middleweight division and pose minimal threat to Crawford. Hall of Famer and ESPN boxing analyst Timothy Bradley Jr. is in favor of Terence Crawford in a potential matchup against Canelo Alvarez, expressing his belief that Crawford has the edge in this fight.
Mentally as strong as Terence Crawford, so I can't wait to watch it.
Your gym's an exciting gym. You all bounce off each other. You got likes of Keyshawn. Everyone's sort of mixing. That mentality in that gym, what is it? How is it different from any other gym? I've got to ask you because...
Timothy Bradley Jr. shared his thoughts on Crawford's chances in a video on his YouTube channel, addressing the concerns about weight. Everyone keeps talking about the weight, Bradley said. He pointed out that Crawford only recently moved up from welterweight to 154 pounds, while Canelo has been competing at 168 pounds since late 2020. Bradley also questioned the hype surrounding Canelo's knockout power, stating, "Oh, he's going to knock him out? When was the last time Canelo knocked somebody out?" Bradley pointed out that Canelo's last stoppage victory came against Caleb Plant in November 2021, suggesting it has been a while since Alvarez delivered a knockout.
Someone told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. I'm letting y'all know right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez.
Since his last knockout over Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez has failed to stop established opponents like Dmitry Bivol in a loss and a 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin. He also went the distance with fighters considered to be below his skill level, such as John Ryder, Jamie Munguia, and Edgar Berlanga. Even Jermel Charlo, a natural junior middleweight, managed to go the distance with Canelo, though he was never really competitive against the super middleweight champion. Bradley dismissed the idea that Canelo would easily knock out Crawford, saying, "Y'all can quit with that. He's going to knock Crawford out. Talk. Come on, man." He also pointed to a recent example in boxing. Didn't we just see Alexander Usyk fight Tyson Fury, who was quote-unquote 50 pounds heavier? Canelo is the same height as Crawford, and he's not a natural 168 pounds. Usyk's a great fighter, absolutely, but you know who else is a great one? Crawford. The great ones know how to figure it out.
Yes, he is. Number 2, Devin Haney. You want to get back, man, go back to your roots, bro. Go back to where you started, bro.
Bradley pointed out Crawford's significant reach advantage, noting that his 74-inch reach is 3.5 inches longer than Canelo's. He believes Crawford's ability to control the pace with his counterpunching could be key in a potential victory. Alvarez, known for his low punch output, could struggle against Crawford's precise, straight shots from distance, especially as he tires over the course of the fight. Bradley thinks Crawford could win by staying on the outside, avoiding Canelo's looping hooks, and gradually wearing him down in the later rounds. Bradley also took a jab at Canelo, referencing the Mexican superstar's apparent reluctance to face David Benavidez. In a mock imitation of Canelo's voice, Bradley quipped, "Remember what you said, easy fight, easy fight, easy fight," reminding everyone of Canelo's earlier dismissals of tough challenges. While Bradley's analysis is shared by some in the boxing world, many believe that the size and power difference between Canelo and Crawford might be too much for Crawford to overcome.
Where'd you start? You started in Mexico, man. Go back, get one of those guys out of there, man. Go back, start there. That's where you start. Go back to your roots, bro. Get some of that humble pie, bro. Go back, start where you started. Start where you started it.
Bradley, known for his strong opinions, confidently stood by his unpopular take. "I'm going to get back to my Haterade," he joked at the end of the video, sipping his drink. His bold stance adds another layer to the ongoing conversation about the potential Canelo-Crawford matchup. Whether or not the fight will come to fruition depends largely on Alvarez, as Crawford has already made history in recent years. Crawford became the undisputed welterweight champion in July 2023 after stopping Errol Spence Jr. in 9 rounds. He made more history earlier this year, becoming a 4-division champion by outpointing Israil Madrimov to claim the WBA title at 154 pounds. Meanwhile, Mexican icon Canelo Alvarez has also enjoyed continued success, solidifying his place as one of boxing's biggest stars in recent years.
Just with Canelo, obviously, he had his fight with Edgar Berlanga announced recently. Not received necessarily a positive outcome and reaction he'd have liked. What did you make of the Canelo?
After claiming the undisputed super middleweight title in 2021, Canelo Alvarez fell short in his challenge against then WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol. However, the 34-year-old has bounced back with 5 consecutive wins, defeating the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Jermall Charlo, and Edgar Berlanga along the way. Legendary trainer-turned-analyst Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts on the potential mega-fight between Canelo and Crawford with Fight Hub TV, stating that he would find it hard to bet against the American southpaw. Very few people have the appetite or inclination to challenge themselves like Mr. Crawford does, Atlas said. I ain't never going against that guy. Father Time might catch him, but I don't know if a weight class can catch him.
But listen, I think Berlanga's a talented kid who's getting better. He's improved recently. I think he still needs more seasoning, but I see an improvement in him. He is a talented kid.
It's a tremendous challenge because Canelo is a tremendous fighter, bigger, stronger, and with the ability to punch and time you, Teddy Atlas continued. But just because you're smaller doesn't mean you can't win. Crawford will come up with a game plan that forces the other guy to use his size. Crawford's trainer, Brian McIntyre, who has guided him to world titles in 4 different weight divisions, will be hoping to lead him to another victory in the potential showdown with Canelo Alvarez.
Laser reshape because you have to side movement for that. Is that a fight you would recommend for him?
Crawford made history by defeating Israil Madrimov to claim the title at 154 pounds, and now he's setting his sights on a fight with the Mexican icon, Canelo Alvarez. While Crawford has achieved many significant milestones in his boxing career, a victory over Canelo would be his greatest accomplishment yet. Canelo, the reigning super middleweight world champion, has only suffered 2 defeats in his career, one against Dimitri Bivol and the other against Floyd Mayweather. It's the Bivol fight that Brian McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, plans to study closely if the fight with Canelo happens. He made him move his feet. If the fight ever materializes, that's the fight I would go back and watch, McIntyre said in an interview on the Luke Thomas YouTube channel, referring to Canelo's loss to Bivol.
It's real simple. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terence, go get in there and do what he needs to do. Perform.
I'd look at Mayweather versus Canelo too, McIntyre added, recognizing the importance of studying different approaches to face a fighter like Canelo. According to World Boxing News, WBN, Crawford's name is now on a short list for a potential showdown with Canelo after months of media buzz surrounding the clash. Crawford has remained persistent in his pursuit of the fight, willing to move up 2 weight classes to prove his dominance in boxing. Crawford is fully aware of the physical disadvantage he would face against Canelo, acknowledging that size will play a major role in the fight. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome this challenge and impose his boxing style. Despite his confidence, some analysts have expressed doubts about Crawford's ability to compete effectively at super middleweight. This skepticism largely stems from his most recent fight, where he earned a points victory over Israil Madrimov at super welterweight, but the performance lacked the dominant display many had anticipated.
Hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that.
Despite concerns about Crawford's size and recent performances, the potential showdown between Canelo and Crawford has captured the imagination of boxing fans. The combination of power, speed, technique, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. Canelo Alvarez has built a tradition of fighting twice a year, typically in May and September, the latter coinciding with Mexico's Independence Day weekend. Since 2022, He has consistently scheduled his fights during these months, and it is expected that he will do so again. This makes it even more intriguing to see who his next opponent will be, especially considering the lack of interest from many in accepting the challenge of David Benavidez, the mandatory WBC 168 pounds challenger. Given the circumstances, Terence Crawford appears to be a strong option for Canelo's first fight of the year.
Are we still waiting for that second fight to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to work things out and see where they go from there.
I know Tim Drew's name been floated around out there as an opponent. What do you think about Crawford versus Drew?
Although it seems that the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford is more driven by media hype than a truly competitive matchup, considering Crawford fights at 154 pounds, 2 weight divisions below Canelo, both Crawford and Turkish promoter Alil Sheikh are working hard to convince Alvarez to accept the fight. Crawford has reportedly been asking for $150 million for the bout. Given how unconvincing the fight against Crawford might seem in terms of pure competition and Alvarez's evasiveness toward facing David Benavidez, Canelo could have other interesting options to kick off 2025. One of the names that has been mentioned as a potential opponent for Canelo is 29-year-old Frenchman Christian Nili. Nili, who boasts an undefeated 28-0 record, most recently defeated Sergey Derevianchenko in August and could be a contender for the WBC title.
Yeah, what's happening? Thurman and Zoo both think that they can get a shot at Bud after, with the belt not even being on the line. Is that a fight?
The possibility of a fight with William Skuld, 23-0, the IBF challenger, was already ruled out in September. The IBF stripped Canelo of his undisputed title after he refused to fight the Cuban, which led to his removal from the title picture. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, McIntyre praised Crawford, highlighting his potential to make history with a third undisputed crown. He firmly believes Crawford has all the tools needed to beat Canelo, stating that any hardcore boxing fan would know Crawford is capable of winning. You have to know boxing to be able to say that, McIntyre added, emphasizing Crawford's readiness for the challenge.
Believes in hardcore boxing fans. They know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence.
Regarding Conor Ben's performance, McIntyre didn't hold back, stating, "I think he looked like trash." He went on to clarify that while he didn't personally watch the fight, some of the coaches who were with him mentioned that Ben didn't look impressive. McIntyre also noted that he knows Pete Dobson well, and while Dobson gave Ben a tough challenge, he doesn't think highly of Ben as a fighter. "I really don't know him," McIntyre added. "I hear his name, but that's about it."
Fight. What's your thoughts on that?
Let's go. Hey, that's a challenge to me too, as a trainer. I want to try to, outthink Eddie Reynoso.
When asked about Conor Ben saying he wants to face Gervonta Tank Davis next, McIntyre responded, "Why would he go down there and pick on guys at 135 and 140? Why not mess with guys at 147 and call those guys out? If you really want to fight somebody, fight the best." As for Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman, McIntyre shared his thoughts, saying, "I think it's going to be a good fight. Tszyu has the momentum because Thurman has been out for a while."
It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terry's going to get in there and do what he needs to do. Perform.
McIntyre continued, stating, "It's going to be a tough fight to call right now, but I can't see the fight leaning towards Tszyu just because he has the momentum. Thurman hasn't had that momentum because, as they say, it's just like riding a bike. But Thurman has been at that high level for many years." He then turned to the potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, asking, "What are your thoughts on Crawford jumping weight classes to meet Canelo? Who do you think wins the matchup? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section." He wrapped up with, "And that's all for now. For the best updates on news, moments, events, and action in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you're the first to know when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out